Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of CookieCast. Today on CookieCast, it's the Formula One podcast, straight to the apex. All the boys are here. Mark, Tony, James, they're all here. Talking Formula One racing, races gone, races to come, all the racing news. I'm reliably informed that there is a head towards the end of the season, so, see what that looks like. Before we get started, please do consider like, share, subscribe and comment. Drop any reviews you want to drop. And if you've got a Formula One fan in your life, send them this podcast. They might even thank you for it. Right, let's get started. So here we go. This is CookieCast, straight to the apex.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Straight to the Apex podcast, episode 24. Not sure what's up with Tony, but I will introduce to my left on screen, Mr. Reliable, Mr. Independent, not Mr. Saturday. It's Mr. James Stainforth.
Hello.
And what is the polar opposite to Mr. Reliable and Mr. Independent? Mr. Always Late, Mr. Nightmare, George Russell. Man, go on.
Mister, can we start early tonight? Because I want to try out these new headphones and still turns up 12 minutes late. And then fucks off to get a hat.
And when he says new headphones, he means, ladies and gentlemen, headphones from about the 1990s when Apple phones first come out. It's Mr. Tony Rawson.
Good evening.
Are we all right?
Not so bad. You know when you just started that Zoom call, then I pressed the screen and it didn't go down. So I was like, fuck. But then I realised I'm on my laptop, not my iPad. Because as you can tell, I've had a bit of a change of hardware. So, yeah.
He's got no background. He's got
no background. This is where I live. Technology. This is where I live, guys.
He's the youngest one out of the group, yet he acts like the eldest.
Why haven't we got a curtain pull?
Because we took the curtain down. This is what I mean. This is what's going to happen now. You're just going to start picking around everything. Like, that wallpaper's shit. Why is Tigger on your fucking right shoulder?
We're not, Tony. That would be very cruel, and that wouldn't be nice for the viewers and listeners. But it's all right for me and James, so we'll carry on.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, at least I'm not live from a cupboard somewhere, like you, Mark.
Well, exactly. I'm in a cupboard. I'm like Harry Potter. I'm just not under the stairs.
You do look like you're in some kind of like hostage situation.
I know.
He's in a safe house.
No, I'm all right.
He's in a safe house.
I'll blink if I need rescuing. So this weekend was the third and final sprint race of the season. So we had quite an action-packed weekend with qualifying on Friday, sprint race Saturday, and the race Sunday. First and foremost, what do you think to the format of the race weekend? Is this the best it's been, the sprint race, do you think?
That sprint race was epic. Absolutely fucking amazing.
Awesome.
And the only thing that made me worry was that because the sprint race was that good, the actual race itself would be shit.
Didn't disappoint.
Really enjoyed it.
Even qualifying was good, and obviously, a bit of sprinkle of rain, bit of changeable conditions on a prestigious circuit.
Very prestigious.
That's for you, Tony. Kevin Magnussen. Wow.
Fair play to him. Fair play to him. They had a plan. They executed it.
He was out at the right time, wasn't he? He was out on the track at the right time. Every other team thought, we'll wait, we'll hold off. And Haas and him timed it right.
I mean, it could have been a massive coincidence that his garage is the last garage out of everybody.
Yeah.
Therefore...
That was a benefit of coming last in the constructors last year, because there was last year. They're the last in the pit stop, which means that they're right at the entrance. The only thing that annoyed me about it was all these people going, "Oh, well, it was just lucky." No, he won. Every other fucking driver knew out there, rain's coming. Because as soon as it was out there, all you heard on the radio was, "Got to do it in lap 1." Everyone was saying, "You got to do it in lap 1. You can't have a warm up lap. Get out there, fucking get it done." He got it done, and he was faster than everyone else.
Ferrari messed up again, sending Leclerc out on intermediates when everyone else went out on dry. I mean, I am interested to hear Tony's thoughts about why Magnussen was first, because his friend, his favourite driver in the world, beached it and caused a red flag.
I think it was all planned, to be honest. Absolutely planned. But did you see how he beached it? It was hilarious, wasn't it?
I mean,
he tried. He tried. He saved the car.
Yep.
Fantastic. But in his bid to save the car, he then hit the throttle and ended up back into the gravel and fully beached the car, like fully proper beached it.
Oh, he tried to do a 360, like quickly, like whiz round and say, "Hey, look at me, I'm cool, yeah." And then, didn't quite work out how we planned, and full beached on an angle. Pretty embarrassing, really.
Was.
Which you'd have probably laughed at, wouldn't you? You'd have probably enjoyed more than a lot of people.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely loved it. I stood up, did a round of applause, and thought, "Ha, you silly little man."
You know that Beth sent me and Mark the pictures of you cuddling up to your little Woody doll when you were asleep, right?
Because you have made you've made a Mac kit for your Woody, haven't you?
Oh,
maybe.
Like the stalker out of The Bodyguard, where she's got a locker and it's all pictures of George Russell and Tony superimposed on his girlfriend.
Under that hat is every picture he's got of George Russell, and he just hides it under a Senna hat.
You know what? After this weekend,
George Russell... You've been in it, aren't you? Oh, I thought because you meant it was the most popular hat in the stands. Your prestigious hat.
Oh, this fucking hat! I fucking sourced this hat from eBay, right? I fucking sourced this hat, and it took me a while to source, and I ended up getting it from South Germany, and I paid a fucking lot of money for this hat, postage and all. Yeah, and then we cut to the fucking final scene of Brazil when they're all storming onto the fucking grid. Every motherfucker had this hat on. And I mean, every motherfucker had this hat on. Not happy. Not happy whatsoever. This is what I mean. I might as well just fucking bin this hat now because they're giving them away for free at fucking Brazil. So what's the fucking point?
All wearing Yeezys as well.
I know. I've sacrificed Yeezys for this.
It's your perfect.
And like, you know what? It's that blue. Fucking nothing goes with it except my eyes. But that's another conversation.
Yeah. So anyway, after that, sorry about all the F-bombs in that little sentence. I lost count at about 15.
Just fucking frustrating.
Oh, we're still going. Oh. So qualifying, Magnussen, Verstappen, Russell, Norris, Sainz, Ocon, Alonso, Hamilton, Perez, Leclerc. As we said, it was a bit interchangeable conditions. Latifi, Zhou, Bottas, Tsunoda, Schumacher knocked out in Q1. Albon, Gasly, Vettel, Ricciardo, Stroll knocked out in Q2. Anything else from qualifying that you can think of?
I would like to thank Lewis Hamilton for coming out and doing basically a lap for the fans.
Well,
I thank that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciate that all the way from the UK. And my balls were tingling a little bit, like, oh, he's gonna fucking go for it. But then they just literally just went round.
I think, yeah, I don't know what to do with that. You've thrown me off what I was actually going to say then. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't want to see that image, and I don't want to see you doing that on camera, James, because it makes me think of what he's just said.
Understand what?
Yeah, it was wet quali, wasn't it? And then both Williams drivers, including Latifi, on a damp track, managed to stay on soft tyres and get a lap in.
Can I? Oh, actually, can I also just say at one point, Latifi actually had provisional pole.
I know. I mean, we talk about Magnussen pole. What
It
if
wasn't because he was the only
Latifi?
out. There was other people out. He just had provisional pole.
I can't wait to see the back of that guy.
Why? well, we always see the back of him at the back of him. Yeah, it was weird conditions because like Ricciardo and the Williams both come out on soft tyres and the time started tumbling, which is why Latifi was top. And then everyone else kind of reacted to them three, didn't they? And obviously we've got dry tyres. Then rain returned at beginning of Q2, but it wasn't wet enough for intermediates. And then I think, did it turn into intermediates? I can't remember. Or did it stick on? No, I think it stuck on softs. And then in Q3, Russell brought out the red flag. And I think after that, that's when it started raining properly, didn't it?
Yeah, game over. Game over.
Like you said, James, Magnussen, his lap time was 111.674. Verstappen 111.877. From Mr. I'm amazing in the wet, Magnussen beat him on that one lap. So
they must have been going easy.
Weekend, weren't they? I mean, the fact that pretty much everyone at Red Bull all made the same comment. I mean, even Horner didn't really bitch or moan about Mercedes. Even he turned around and went, you know what, the work that they've put in this year, all the little changes, all the little tweaks and that, you know, it was bound to happen. So yeah, even Horner didn't fucking make any kind of snotty-assed comment and stuff like that. And
no,
Red Bull just did it.
No, and they kind of used the tyres quite quickly, which it seems to be a bit of a trait with the car at the minute. It seems to have gone down the Ferrari path.
I think it was on the sprint. Yeah, it was, because on the sprint race, Red Bull had mediums, didn't they? And Mercedes had softs.
Everyone went soft bar in Red Bull with Verstappen. Yeah.
Afterwards, it all came out that Red Bull had more tyre deg on their medium tyres than Mercedes did on softs. And they used them all the way through that full 24 laps on the same tyres, and they had less tyre deg.
And they were pushing. They were proper pushing. I know it's a sprint race.
We were fighting with Max for most of it.
Yeah. No, I think like quali obviously Sainz had a 5 grid penalty for new engine part, so another Ferrari engine. But yeah. Go on, sorry, James. What were you going to say?
That was his 6th engine.
Is that his 6th?
That was his 6th engine, yeah.
That's scary because they've still had to turn it down, the turbo, didn't they? Obviously, Mexico, they turned it right down, and they realised in Brazil they couldn't turn it all the way back up, so they've still got reliability issues. Bit of news today that apparently the press reports say that Ferrari bosses Binotto is under pressure for his job.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're denying it, Ferrari, but there's a lot of reports circulating that, there's a current team boss that is being linked with Ferrari. So I think it's Fred Vassar, Alfa Romeo. I think he's been linked. But the Ferrari are denying it's in. Binotto's not at risk, but his team have failed this year, haven't they?
You can kind of see it, the fiasco that it's been. I mean, they even had issues this week with the tyres. Was it Leclerc? He came in for a pit.
Yeah.
It was in the qualifying, and Leclerc was sat there. He's like, "Come on, guys, what we doing? And there's tyres at the side of him. And it's just, I was sat there, I'm like, it's a good job this is qualifying, and it's not because that was just it was a fucking shit show. That it really was.
Yeah, it was. They're just, I think, I can't put my finger on why it's going so wrong for Ferrari when it comes to strategy and decision making. It's just.
It's not the drivers. It's in no way is it the drivers. Leclerc showed that at the beginning. Sainz is really showing that at the moment. And when Sainz has got a car that fucking works, or he don't get up to past Plan E, he's great.
Yeah,
but it's the strategy, it's the planning, it's the pits. It's all of that that's really screwing him over this year.
Yeah. Anything else on quali? No.
Nope.
Did you actually watch it, Tony?
Yeah.
Did you?
It was good. Friday. Was it Friday night? It was good.
Was it Friday night? Yeah.
I just remember seeing them all queued up, and then off they went. K-Mag nails it, and then the rain slowly came in, and it was all pretty much over from there, wasn't it? And I laughed at Leclerc. That was funny. And then George Russell span, and it was over. That was when it was officially over. And that was even funnier. I could not stop laughing. And then I laughed when K-Mag had to run the full length of the what do you call it, the pit. That was funny.
Yeah.
We were just cutting to random Haas engineers jumping for joy like they'd won the championship 5 times over.
And Alpine having a barbecue with Ocon's car.
Know what? That is pretty much a win. I mean, I'll quickly go on to his bloody radio. K-Mag on the radio. He's like, okay, can you just tell us where we are? And they just go, you are currently on pole. And he's like, you're joking. He's like, nope. You're joking. He's like, nope, you're pole. And it looks like everything's a shit. But yeah, for Haas, that's good. That could make some massive differences. Points wise, I can't remember what was the fighting against the top of my head. But if they get past them, that's a difference of an additional 12 million. Just by moving up one spot on the constructors. So yeah, big fucking win for them.
Magnussen, we said it at the beginning of the season. Magnussen is a different gravy. Such a good, solid driver. He's not a superstar, but he's a good, solid driver that in a midfield
do a
team,
job.
He'll do a job and he'll drag everything from that car.
Yeah.
I think he's so underrated. Like at McLaren, it didn't work out for him. He did all right at Renault. But I think at Haas he's the perfect driver because he's experienced. You can see that he's got a lot, of patience with that car, and he's directing them and funneling them in the right direction to get that car faster.
Absolutely.
And and like you said on radio, his engineer was like, "Oh, you're P1," and he was like, "Right, let's not celebrate yet." He still had that on him. Like, look at the reaction Tony had when he won at Leeds. Like, he was dancing around the bloody track. But Mr. Magnus,
when he was back in the pit, he stayed sat in that car for another 5 minutes. He did not move out of that car because he was probably thinking, if anyone goes out, I'm going to have to go back out. And if someone had put it down, he was like, right, no one's going to go out now. There's no bloody point because he ain't going to beat that on wets.
No.
And he was still sat in the car. And then he did his little bog-eye thing right in the camera.
Yeah, that was good. That must have been like an exciting moment. Definitely.
He was buzzing off his tits.
Yeah. But like I say, fair play to him. He's been through the mill, Kevin Magnussen. He was forced out at McLaren. He was forced out of Formula One. He didn't have a drive, and he just got the call from Haas, and he comes straight back, and he's reaping the rewards now.
He had a really good weekend this weekend as well. I mean, obviously, getting pole, starting off the sprint like that. I think he finished 8th in the sprint. Got himself in a really good spot. Got a couple more points for Haas. And then once again, McLaren fucked him.
Yeah.
It's a fucking brilliant weekend for him.
We'll talk about that later on. But I feel for Ricciardo, but it was totally his fault. And of everyone that he had to hit, why did it have to be Magnussen this weekend? It's just luck, isn't it? It's just one of them things. Sprint race, touched on it ever so slightly. So, sprint race finished with Russell winning. Sainz second, Hamilton third, Verstappen fourth, Perez fifth, Leclerc sixth, Norris seventh, Magnussen eighth, Vettel ninth, and Gasly 10th. Rare mistake by Red Bull, like we said, with the tyre strategy, but they did what they had to do because they were chewing tyres up. And it was cooler conditions, so not sure about that. A few incidents in this race. Which one do you want to start with?
Can we go in Vettel?
Yeah, of course you can.
Alonso.
We'll start with the Alpines then. Ocon, Alonso. Go morning metal.
Well, it's just a dick, isn't he? Just all of his comments about Ocon. Absolute pleb. You really are, mate. Sorry, I know you're a world champion and all that kind of stuff, but fucking
Two-time world champion.
Yeah, stop pointing. I mean, I got some damage thanks to our friend. Don't be a dick.
He pulled out too late. I don't get Alonso. He pulled out too late. Yeah,
straight. Yeah, that's why you got fucking penalised.
Yeah, he pulled out. He could have given Ocon a puncher because he pulled out too late in that move. He's meant to be experienced. I know Ocon slightly moved over, but I would put the blame of that crash at Alonso. Yeah, he's on the radio moaning like fuck.
Yeah, turn 4 was Ocon. Turn 4 was Ocon.
Yeah.
The thing is, on the straight, the actual incident where the collision was, that was Alonso.
Yeah, it was.
Sorry, mate. But then it's everything about. I mean, we'll touch on it on the race as well, anyway. Like, because obviously, there was a bit of bitching and moaning between the two of them then as well. But after the sprint, when they're interviewing him, and he's like, "Oh, you're going to say out to him?" He's like, "No, I've got one more race and it's over." Prick.
He's been a problem at every team he's been at, and he always thinks it's the other driver. McLaren, Alonso, Hamilton, who was at fault. Hamilton was. When he was at Alpine, GP2 engine, obviously when they were Renault, it was Renault's fault. Now it's Ocon's fault. It's like, come on, mate.
The thing is, he's a fucking awesome driver. He can make his car 3 times wider than it is, and he can pull some speed in the thing as well. He really can. He just needs to stop throwing blame all over the place. He needs to
shut this, doesn't he? He needs to shut his mouth.
Because if everyone was in the same kind of car as him, he'd probably blast them all.
Yeah, he would. Yeah, if it pound for pound, they always say the same, but pound for pound, he's probably the best. One of the top 5 drivers in Formula One, probably top 3. But his attitude is just awful.
Yeah.
Go on, Tom.
Have you kind of got to have that attitude though to be a winner?
Oh, no. Well, we'll be speaking about attitudes later, won't we? And I'm sure that you're on the other side of the fence for that guy. So why should Alonso get away with it? Why?
Because he is a 2-time world champion. In my eyes, and probably his own as well. He's the number 1 driver there because he's the most experienced driver there. He's the best driver there. So
when we get to the bitch and moaning in the race and the driver that we're going to be talking about then,
Another two-time world champion.
Yeah, let's remember that counter argument.
I just think Ocon needs to know his place, and I think this season would have been a lot better for that team if Ocon would have known his place.
Oh, don't get me wrong, Ocon's not fucking brilliant either.
Oh,
I mean,
no.
he was in the race, let me race, then I'll let him get. It's like, just do as you're fucking told.
That's what I mean.
The only good thing I like about Ocon was when he pushed Max Verstappen.
Just let the Spanish goat pass and can't continue on what you're doing.
Ocon,
because you both just said there, Alonso is one of the best drivers.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
And with the characteristics that he has and the persona that he has, why would you fight him? You'd only fight him if you were trying to be a dick. French lanky dick.
Sorry to our French listeners there. I mean, we have to.
There's Ocon. Not all French people are dicks and lanky, but just him. He is just let Alonso do what Alonso does. Why?
No, but I disagree with that in the fact that Ocon has fought his way to Formula One. He's not from money. He's not been handed out on a plate. He's had to go out and prove his talent. I mean, like you just said, he's lanky. He doesn't look like a Formula One driver, but he has competed. And to be fair to him, if I was him, I'd think, right, I've got Fernando Alonso there. You either, in no uncertain terms, bend over and take it, or you say, I'm going to prove that I'm as good as him. I totally get that. And the only thing is the way he does it.
Yeah, but if you're going to do that, you can't do that to Fernando Alonso because it's Fernando Alonso.
Let's put it to football terms. You play for Liverpool and Lionel Messi's running at you. Do you go, oh my God, it's Messi? Oh, I'll just dribble around and score.
No, that's a wrong analogy. I joined Barcelona.
I'm going to smash his shins.
This is the thing. This is what you're saying. But this is what you're saying. I'll join Man United and I'll go fucking toe to toe with Ronaldo. Why would I do that? Why would I be a dick like that? It's Ronaldo. Just let him be Ronaldo. Know that you are not Ronaldo, and play off him. Learn, talk. Don't think, I'm going to go in there and fucking smash him and prove a fucking point. I'm the fucking new boss in town.
James went for a round of golf. James went for a round of golf on Sunday.
Yeah, so I'll join. So if I joined James to play golf. I've never played golf. I played a little bit of golf. I'm shit at golf. James has played a lot more. I mean, he's a lot better. Do I suddenly just storm in and go, right? I'm teeing off first, and start going, James, why don't you go and do this? James, why don't you play that shot? James, why don't you do this? And then James, that wasn't a very good shot. James, why don't you try this? James, why don't you try this club? I'm not going to do that, am I?
I'm going to go and try I'm going to try and compete against James. And then if Rory McIlroy turns up, James is going to think, right, I'm going to test myself against the best. I'm not,
Why? James, would you test yourself against Rory McIlroy? Or would you be like, there you go, Rory, you carry on. Let me have a go.
As in if I was playing with him or he was just on the same course as me?
No, you were playing with him.
If he was on the same course as me, I'd just be like, he's on a different game than me. You know what? Yeah, you play through. I'm going to be here for 20 minutes, mate. You're going to be here for 20 seconds.
If it was,
I'm going to
10 million quid. If it was for 10 million quid, and he said, right,
he's not going to win, James. You're not going to win. So why stand up? Try and beat the best ever.
I would wait until he's lost one of his balls in the wood, and while he's looking for it, I'd just go in there and just scratch all of his fucking clubs, and he'd be like, "Yeah, fucker."
No.
So moving on. Stroll and Vettel then. Tony, you've just said Alonso's earned the right. He's, Vettel, 4-time world champion. Is Stroll right in what he's doing? Because Stroll was a lot more aggressive than Ocon. I think that was absolute damn right awful what he tried to do.
Bullshit.
But
go on,
I go back to what I was saying. I just think you need to respect your elders. You need to respect your more experienced drivers, and it's not just more experience. These are people respect champions. Respect, not like, oh, I'm gonna go fucking toe to toe to prove myself. Like,
Well, all right. So Ocon and Stroll, which one was more at fault against champions? If there was a line in the sand, did both of them cross it? Was it just Stroll? Was it just Ocon? Did they both go too far? You know, which do you think?
I think they both crossed it. But I think Ocon is all season. That's why Alonso was just like, "No, what? Fuck you, I'm going," because Ocon has just been at it.
I think Stroll's been exactly the same, if not worse, than Ocon.
The thing is, I don't know. Stroll's dad owns the team, so Stroll. Again, I put Stroll in the same vein as Latifi. Like, he's there because he's there. Like, I don't think he's there on talent or anything like that. I think he's just there for their sake. And these people, drivers, are not on the same level at all.
But I do think
Mazepin level.
Well,
I'll add him in there as well.
I do think Vettel. I do think Vettel deals with it better than Alonso.
Oh, because he's a completely different character.
Oh, they are. But Vettel used to be that annoying little dick.
Fucking awesome. You heard him on the radio. Vettel's reaction was awesome when you heard him. He just went, okay.
Yeah, sorry.
I know.
What we're going to do?
That sounds like somebody who's leaving very soon.
Well, yeah,
you know when that person's like hands in their, like, they're leaving and they're doing their notice period and shit happens at work and they're just like, nah, fuck it, I'm not going to be here anymore. It's not my problem anymore.
Do you reckon he's going to turn up late?
Why not? I mean, get on a fucking bike and just go around the track.
Vettel's finally shown up. He's like, oh, what are you going to do? Sack me? Way! Guess what? I'm not wearing my PPE.
Maybe he's going to do the last race in just his fireproof underpants and no overall. Yeah. And just sit with his helmet on.
I think he's got a trick up his sleeve. I think he's going to do something crazy.
I hope he punts Stroll off.
Yeah.
Any other bits from the sprint race? Any news?
No. Just have a look from the notes now.
I think it was one of the best sprint races we've had. However,
I think it was the best, but go on. However, yeah.
It's the best we've seen. I've kind of been like umming and ahhing, like, because it's nice that it's a race, but there's no pit, so there's no strategy. It's just fastest wins, pretty much.
I still don't like it. What was you going to say, Tone? However, what?
It's the track. I think this track
100%.
is 100% built for these cars.
Prestigious track, prestigious event. And they all say it's a great track. It promotes overtaking. It's what a sprint race should be on.
And the purchase on the tyres is something else.
I like it.
There we go.
I just don't like the sprint race.
Right. I think you're right, Tony, because the sprint race at Brazil last year was pretty good as well. Because if you remember, who sent? I can't remember if it was me or you, Tony, who sent the video to the group. It was like Hamilton got disqualified in the qualifying, had to start the sprint race from the back. Shot his way through to P10 to then go on to win the race. So yeah, it is good, and it's unpredictable. It's all over the place, and the weather just comes and goes as it pleases. It's just you never have 2 days the same on that race event. It's fucking brilliant. The only other thing I've got is the grid boxes being the wrong size.
Yeah, and 3 of them got who was it? It was Hamilton, Ricciardo, and Joe got investigated, didn't they, for potential start procedure infringement? But it turns out that the grid boxes were the wrong size.
Oh,
Yeah,
I didn't actually know that. I remember hearing it in the race.
Yeah, the grid box was wide enough, so none of them could see it. And the FIA also turned around and said, but none of them had positioned themselves in any advantage. They'd all been further behind than they needed to be, so they all had a disadvantage. So
yeah. I've got a couple of quick things. So it's looking like Mick Schumacher or Nico Hülkenberg for the last seat at Haas. But potentially that's what it's going down to. Ricciardo is in talks with Merck and Red Bull over the reserve driver role for next year.
I've lost patience with him now. Fuck it. If he's there, he's there. He's not.
His head's not there. He needs to kind of reset, step away.
He needs to work in a marketing role for McLaren.
Formula One launched in Las Vegas with a glitzy demo. Hamilton, Russell, and Perez drove cars down the Vegas Strip, did usual donuts, and Perez even drove his Red Bull through a casino.
Yes, that was fucking sick.
Did you see the prank that Lewis pulled on George at Vegas?
No. I feel like I have, but I can't remember, but probably not.
They were doing donuts in the safety car. Lewis went first, did quite a few donuts in the safety car. And as he got out, he turned the traction control on. So when George got in to do donuts, he couldn't get the car to go around. And he was like, well, something wrong with this car. Right? I just can't get it to spin. And then they were getting interviewed on the stage, and Hamilton said, oh, yeah, you know, the reason you couldn't do that, George, is because I turned all the traction control back on. And he was like, what? Really? And Lewis was like, no, I'm just kidding. So no one knows if he actually did or he didn't, but he's literally messing with George.
That's why George Russell fucked up Q3.
Yeah, he thought traction control was on.
He's like, all right, you Rick. Mess about with me in the safety car traction, Rick. Watch this. You ain't fucking qualifying, Lewis.
Oh, shit, I ain't got traction control. Oh, I've spun it. Oh, damn it.
The car going through the casino was fucking impressive because it was literally people were just like playing slots, and then suddenly they were like, "Oh, a fucking F1 car just goes down."
Did you notice
like, whoa!
None of the Americans moved off the slots though.
No, none of them were just like, okay, just another crazy thing in Vegas.
And what's really sad is that next year at the actual race, Latifi won't be there to actually drive through a casino.
I'm gutted. Can you imagine all the chips going up? They use them as barriers, and he's gone through the barrier. He's in the Bellagio fountain. He's through that. Bang! He's straight in the middle.
I really don't know what to expect for this race. I just
One last thing before we take a break. Ted Kravitz having to apologise to Red Bull about his.
Did he really?
Yeah, this is why Red Bull are now talking to Sky.
Okay, I didn't know this.
He met Max, he met Christian, he apologised. At the Vegas event, obviously, Perez was there, and David Croft kind of said to him, am I allowed to talk to you? And he was like, oh, yeah, it's not a race weekend. And then Ted, on Ted's notebook this weekend, I think it was his quali one, he said he had to go speak to Max and apologise.
You should have done a Conor McGregor like.
Oh, not to Spark.
No, gone like, I'm going to apologise to absolutely nobody. I don't have to fucking apologise to anybody. Fuck you.
Well, on that note, we'll take a break now. See you on the other side. Sorry. Well, I forget. There will be adverts. There will be adverts. So listen to the adverts, people.
Oh, yeah.
You messages.
Man.
Hey, you. Yeah, you that's listening right now. Thanks very much for tuning into this episode of Straight to the Apex, the Formula One podcast from CookieCast. If you're enjoying this episode, why not like, share and subscribe? Whilst you're there, feel free to check out some of the other podcasts that CookieCast has to offer. If you like football, we've got a football podcast. NFL more your thing? Then the Laces Out podcast is for you. maybe even a little bit of the wrestling, just look for the Getting Over podcast on CookieCast. Maybe you want to listen to Andy's Darkest Timeline. It's there too. So, the F1 boys have probably got themselves a drink. It's time to get back to the action.
Do it.
Did you enjoy them adverts? Was it really good?
I don't know why Andy doesn't get me to do them, because I'd be amazing at it, to be honest.
Because we need to keep the language clean.
I've got about 10 reasons why he doesn't get you to do it. One of them is you're not clean enough. Two,
I've got a good one.
He also, you'd ask him to record and you'd be about 45 minutes late.
Oh, I was just about to say the adverts would be late.
The adverts would be longer than the podcast.
I've actually got a really good one.
10 minutes late, you hear Tony. Sorry about that.
I've got a really good advert. Do you want me to do it now?
Yeah, quickly do it now. We've got a special live advert.
But well, you two could then judge me if I'm good enough.
Go on then.
Yeah.
Okay. I know this is going, but go.
Why? How's it going, Mike?
No, go on.
No, you've ruined it now. You've ruined the moment.
Prove me wrong. Go on, let's go.
Are you ready? You ready? Hungry for more content? Then tune in to CookieCast on social media and YouTube and all other podcast supporting software. There you go. What do you think?
I mean, wow.
It sounded like
man of many talents.
Some, I don't know, Texan and Stephen Hawking's
Watch yourself.
and a love child.
Cut out, Andy. Cut out.
Well, all I can do, Andy, is apologise for Tony. Say thank you for letting us do this podcast every week, in spite of Tony. And I can't believe we are still on the air with no thanks to Tony. So, right. The race. Sunday.
The race.
I don't know what to do here because I feel like I'm going to quickly whiz through the order and then let's get into it because I feel like we're going to get into this, and for all you Red Bull fans, you're not going to like it.
It ain't going to be.
Why don't we go through the race chronologically?
Yeah, no, I'm going to, but I'm itching. I'm itching to get to the nitty-gritty of it. Okay. So, Russell got his first Formula One win. Don't you dare clap for him. Don't you? He doesn't deserve your applause.
What a guy. What a drive. Led from the front.
Oh, God, you've changed.
God offending me.
There's a snake in my boot. Somebody's poisoning the water hole.
From your nice warm bed.
It's so emotional as well, isn't it?
I've only got Russell's name out, and look what's happened. It's all gone to shit.
Did Lewis let him win, though?
We'll get to that. We're going chronologically, apparently.
Yeah.
So, come on. Spoiler alert. So, Russell won. You're not the host. I've been waiting to say that all podcasts. I've been waiting to say, you're not the host. It's not your turn, Tony.
All right.
God, I'm going to take my toys and go out. Oh, someone's gone red. Sorry. So, Russell was first, Hamilton second, Sainz third, Leclerc fourth, Alonso fifth, Verstappen sixth, Perez seventh. That should have been different. Ocon 8th, Bottas 9th, and Stroll 10th. So we're going chronologically. Lap 1, Ricciardo took out Magnussen. Go.
What a fucking idiot. I mean, this guy who's supposedly a good driver goes up the inside and hits somebody. And then, you know what? It was so beautiful when Magnussen span and then reversed almost poetic. Like, you couldn't write it. Like, it was something from, like, a movie. And then he ran straight into the side of him and took him out. And it was like, you deserve that, you stupid idiot.
I'm surprised you didn't say stupid Australian idiot and people. It was cringy watching Ricardo lunge like he did. I just cringed. I was like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?"
Yeah, you're better than that.
Ricardo. It's not Ricardo. I felt so let down by him, which seems so stupid. I was just absolutely.
You know when you're sitting there and your foot starts attacking the brake, even though you're watching TV, you know it's not going to be good.
You could just see it, couldn't you? Like, what are you doing there? No. And then, like, he hit Magnussen, he went round, and, like, say, that you just knew when he went right, that's where Magnussen was going to go. It's painful. I love Daniel. I really do. But
he got exactly what he deserved.
You've got to help us out, kid. You've got to help us out.
No, he did. He had to go out for that. It was a shitter for Magnussen. I already said it earlier, didn't I? He had such a fucking good weekend, and then that don't even get to complete a lap.
I know.
And he stayed there for ages while did K-Mag. He didn't know what to do. But
we sat in the infield. He didn't actually come back to the pits even at the end of the race. He still hadn't made it back. He was just sat in the infield, and there was like,
well, no way.
Yeah.
I knew he was on the infield, but I didn't know he'd sat there for the
entire race.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah, he probably just chilling. But yeah, just
sad moment.
Well, he's got a. Is it a 3 grid place penalty he's got?
Yeah. Couple of penalty points and 3 grid race penalty for the last race.
Wow.
So that brought out the safety car.
I mean, it doesn't mean much when you're out in P1, does it? Anyway. So.
No. He was in such a good position to get points. Yeah.
I meant Ricardo for Abu Dhabi, where what's 3 grid points when you're out in P1 anyway.
Well, exactly. Q1, mate. If you're gonna get it right.
P1, Q1, A1, M1,
A1. So that brought out the safety car, and then we had the restart. 10-2.
10-2.
These two love driving next to each other. Max Verstappen, Lewis Hamilton collision at 10-2 on restart. Closely followed by Norris punting Leclerc into the barrier, which miraculously he hit the barrier and carried on.
Where should we start here?
Let's start with Max and Lewis.
What's your opinion, Mark?
Well, I've mellowed a little bit. I was... what we're laughing at?
It's just the way you said you mellowed, as if you'd fucking, like, just left the house for at least, like, a day and then come back and then thought about life and then decided, you know what, let's talk about it.
To the shock of everybody, I was totally... I thought it was Lewis's fault more than Max's. No, let me finish.
Sorry.
I thought it was Lewis's fault more than Max's in the sense that he knew he was racing. Just leave him a gap. Like, it was always going to cut. There was always going to come together. Just leave him a bit more room. It's Max. But then the more I watched it, and the more when I heard Max's comments after the race, because I didn't hear the after race comments until 2 days after the race. When Max basically said, "Yeah, it was all right though, because I cost him the victory, and I was bless you. I was going down the inside no matter what. Lewis wasn't going to give up. It was one of them. I just thought, you've done that on purpose. You absolute, as James rightly put, tosser."
See, that comment wound me up anyway. That whole kind of, I knew he wasn't going to give me the space, so I went for it anyway. If you knew he wasn't going to give you the space, back off.
Well,
go off the track.
He has got
so many times last year. All the time, he just fucking bullies people pretty much.
And everyone moves out of the way.
Yeah. because they know he isn't going to budge and he will fuck you over.
Before I get on to what the reasons
James,
why...
your washing's finished, by the way.
Before we get on to the
I
reasons
just thought I'd
why...
let you know that. I just had it beat. Sorry.
Why Max is like that. What do you guys... What was your opinions? Let's go, James. James first. Oh, Tony first. You look like you're going for it. Tony.
Yes, I agree with you, Mark.
It's going to be fine.
It's been how many episodes and we still haven't got this. Anyway, I agree with you, Mark. When it first happened, I was like, he's closed the gap. But then after you mellow, like you said, and then you watch it back and you think, he's dived up the inside to a gap that's not a gap. So it's his own fault. Lewis was in the lead, is in front of him, so he got what he deserved. But like I messaged you two after the fact, I think the way he came on the radio, if that his reaction wasn't his usual sweary kicking off reaction, so I thought he's kind of let that. He must have known that it was his doing that, because if it wasn't, he would have gone ballistic.
Yeah, if Max has done something wrong, he'll just go, "Oh, he left me no space." But if Max knows the other person's done it, he's effing, he's blinded. Yeah.
Are you? What did you think at the time, Jim?
At that very moment, I think my initial thought was, I'm very glad that my son is with his grandma at the moment, because otherwise he would have learned every swear word under the sun. And I can't use all them swear words on here. One of them begins with a C.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It got very colourful on lap 7.
Wow.
I don't want to call him arrogant, but his attitude for me is just. And don't get me wrong, this is a blessing and a curse at the same time. His attitude is just not like any other driver. And I don't know if that's come from his dad, the win at all costs. He's got a win at all cost mentality. And as we found out later in the race, he's got a fuck everyone else. I'm Max Verstappen. I look after Max Verstappen, which again is not bad in some instances, but you've got to know when to play it. That was a time with the crash with Hamilton. He got the inside of him on turn 1. They did the old switcheroo, David Croft. And it was on half on the inside, and then, like you say, it was a wedge. And how many times have we seen it this season? Drivers back out, right, that's going to close, I'll back out, I'll stop. He had no intention of doing that, no intention at all.
No, it's always that kind of, I'm going to go for it, even if I take myself out doing it.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it.
But then Brundle sided with Max, and he stuck with that. And he actually, quote, said he earned the right to more room.
Yeah.
I disagree.
And my comment, when Brundle said that, my comment to Charlie was, he's probably saying that so that Max still talks to Sky.
100%. It was very, very... Simon Lazenby and all of Sky were absolutely on the tiptoes all weekend with Red Bull. They are scared shitless of them.
Oh, Christ. I mean, if they crawled any further up his arse, you'd see a fucking Sky microphone coming out of his mouth.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but it's a lot. Like I say, it's not arrogant. Arrogant's the wrong word, but he is just a self-centered righteous little prick that thinks he's God's gift, and he's very talented. We've praised him on this podcast. But I'm sorry, you pick your battles, and he's made himself look a complete and utter beep. Word I can't use on this podcast this weekend.
Yeah, I know. I think a lot of his fans have seen that as well. I mean, a lot of people, especially God help him when he goes to Mexico next year. But even his post-race interview, the comments he made, then going, just a shame about me and Lewis. I thought, we usually race really well. And the first thing I thought was, That's funny because I remember you parking an entire car on his head last year. But I guess that's racing well, right? Yeah.
I
I'm going to put my car right on top of your head, and then I'm going to fucking hit you. And then I'm going to walk off, and I'm not going to check if you're all right. Why? Because I'm Max Verstappen.
and his dad's made him like that. I think his dad.
Do you think his dad's putting him under pressure?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think his dad is always been an arrogant son of a bitch that didn't have the talent to back it up, and now he's living through his son. You know, Josh Verstappen probably walked around saying he's world champion. I
said that. I can't remember if it was you guys I was talking to or some of the guys I work with. And
friends.
More than you two. Go me. Yeah.
I thought we were your only friends.
We know that's not true, Tony. We like to believe that we are, but it's not. But anyway, carry on.
Son of a bitch. What a bitch.
Sorry. But the exact words you said there when Joss is just. In fact, because it was on about it, and I went, Joss needs to go suck a fart, and someone in Red Bull needs to tell him to sit down and shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
go suck a fart, Joss. Go suck a fart.
Yeah, and that makes me hate him. I think if his dad wasn't around pressurising him, would it be different? But like you said, it's like Max can't relax. He's always got to be this ruthless killer. He's basically, it's win at all costs, and it's just, he hasn't done himself any favours. He's number one hated man in Mexico right now. Number two is obviously Tony after his comments the other week about Mexicans.
well, they can suck a fart, guy. They can suck farts as well.
Yeah.
They're Lewis Hamilton.
That's two different parts of the world now that know Tony. That's Leeds and Mexico.
Norris and Leclerc.
Booed Lewis Hamilton.
That was straightforward Norris, wasn't it?
Norris being Norris.
Yeah.
Norris being a Norris, basically. How the hell did that car not break more?
I don't know.
Because he hit that barrier pretty hard. Yeah, so do I.
Definitely.
You did this deliberately, Mark. You've done this deliberately. You know for a fact, if I just suddenly drop in Norris now, we'll get a 20-minute rant from Tony.
Might have done that.
Well,
we can't go to part three.
McLaren poster boy, overhyped. We like him because he's cute. He didn't wash with me. Bullshit. Start driving better.
You got a crush on Lando?
Yeah, driving because he's cute. Yeah, 100% Norris's fault. Him and Max both got 5-second penalties for each incident, even though Martin Brundle, like you say, was too shit scared to say anything bad about Red Bull and was like, "Oh, it's Lewis's fault." Yeah, I'll stick by that. Carry on.
Mm-hmm.
There was some bloody good racing, very close racing, a lot of good overtakes. Like I say, the track's fantastic. Really good for that.
Love it.
Have you got anything else chronologically? Because I then jumped to lap 52, so I don't want to get told off by my co-host.
Jump to lap 52 if you must.
I thought James looked like he had some...
James is intently looking down at his notes right now.
He's got... unlike you, Tony, I do make notes.
And he does watch...
I've got notes. I've got notes, actually, thank you.
Beth
wrote it says Brazil. It says Brazil in the top left-hand corner.
And that's it.
And then does it just say, I love George Russell.
No.
Complete and
utter. No, then I've got he earned the right to more room. That's my first note. And last as well. Well, and my predictions. I've got that written down as well.
How much of that did Beth write?
She didn't write it, but she gave me various options, and then we sat and discussed and worked out which one was the best one.
That's fair enough.
And then she chose it.
So Norris broke down on lap 52, bringing out the virtual safety car, and then the stewards couldn't move the car. I think the hydraulics had gone, so a full safety car come out lap 60.
It's not that. It's because the McLaren shit. That's why.
Okay, there was obviously various pit stops in between there, strategies playing. Hamilton was on the radio kicking off saying, my tyres are good. But Ferrari were pitting early and
They had to bring at first when they said to Russell, and I loved this fucking comics. I spent maybe about 5 more laps trying to figure out what the hell he meant. When it was like, oh, we'll get you in for soft towards the end, and it was copy, no, soft. Like, is that soft?
no soft.
Or copy, no to soft, or copy, no, it's fine, soft. I'm still confused. I don't know, and it's been like 2 days. So and I was sitting there thinking, well, that's good because Hamilton's tyres are a hell of a lot younger. Because it was like lap 30 he went in. Russell can come off. It'll be a free pit because of the distance between him and Sainz. So he'll come out either just behind Hamilton or just behind Sainz. Hamilton will have pole, but because Russell will have the softs, he'll get P2 at the end. And that probably would have been the case had it not been for bloody Ferrari doing that pit. If Ferrari had done that pit and the undercut being so bloody good there, they had no choice. They made the right decision by boxing Lewis. It was a shock. It surprised me. We all know it fucking surprised Lewis, but if they had done it, the undercut would have fucked him over. And they was very quick to explain that to him. So it's just nice to see that Mercedes seem more on the ball and not on the ball even.
Knowing that, obviously not knowing that the safety car would come out later, if Lewis had got his wish and stayed out, then he would have been in a situation like he has been previously where he's been on older tyres with cars behind him on newer tyres.
Yep.
Lewis sometimes, I think, lives in the moment. Like Mercedes, like you say, as soon as Ferrari did that, they had to do it. It's the bigger picture. Yeah. And like I say, Lewis should have been straight on the radio saying, oh, guys, you've screwed me, yeah? No, you screwed, yeah. Listen to the team sometimes. Team got it right. 100% this weekend. They got it right. Obviously, George was questioning and saying, are we allowed to race? Are we allowed to race? He was panicking.
That was interesting, that.
But did you know that George Russell's car had a water leak?
Yeah, I saw something about that today.
About midway through the race, they didn't know if the car had finished and they didn't want to tell George.
Wow.
So,
didn't know that.
I mean, that could have taken it away from him. And then,
well and truly, snake in the boot there.
Was you in Brazil on Sunday, Tony, by any chance?
No.
Did you put an hole in George's water tank?
No.
You look a bit shifty.
I was on the edge of my seat, waiting for Lewis to pounce, but he never did.
Couldn't catch him.
Bullshit.
Do you think he backed off?
He backed off.
Do you think?
Yeah, he backs off because he is a nice guy, world champion. He 7-time let George have the win in his second country. Let him do what he needs to do, and I'll just hang behind the back and play defense and let him just get on with it, and he'll just be like letting him. Yeah.
Do you think?
Yes, because he could have put the pedal to the metal and got there, got DRS and passed him, and Paul Russell would have shit his pants and flew off right into the fucking barriers.
Do you agree?
Everyone wants to die because of you.
However, for the prediction, I couldn't believe it.
Oh yeah. I loved it. Yeah.
I mean, that may be like changing my judgment slightly.
What do you think, James? Do you think that Hamilton let him win?
No.
He knows the track. Lewis knows this track like the back of his hand.
Excuse me.
Lewis knows this track. Lewis had soft tyres that was 6 laps older than Russell's, and he had Perez right on his arse and fucking Sainz, and they both had brand new softs. Now, granted, Perez will be more bothered about Sainz being behind him because Perez wants the points, needs the points, unlike Max, prick. So his fight was with Sainz, and Sainz even said earlier on, my fight's with Checo. So Lewis knew that, but he still had that little bit of, I need to keep an eye on them. I think the only thing that really lost it for Lewis, and that was the other thing about Max's post-race comments, going, it cost him the race. No, it didn't. The safety car and all the fucking tyres cost him the race. That was it.
I think the fault there was on brand new tyres behind Lewis, but there wasn't. There was just on newer tyres than Lewis. I think you're right. I think he was busy defending. I just do think, and this will upset Tony, I just think George Russell was a better driver all weekend. And
he was. Yeah.
He had
an awesome K-Mag. Fucking brilliant drive.
He pulled the pace out when he needed to. He managed Lewis. He just knew to get the gap, and Lewis had pushed all race to get back through after colliding with Max. I just think George did a better job, but
full on deserve that.
The fact that Lewis was so happy afterwards when he's won a race every year, and this could have been the one this year. Did he play the team game? Because he's just happy to be up there competing again. Ocon and Alonso told not to fight. Ferrari, Leclerc was pleading with the team. Let me buy stand. That was annoying. That was desperation.
What a fucking pussy boy.
The Ocon thing first, about saying let Alonso go by. He's got younger tyres and stuff like that. And then he's like, no, let me race. I'm going to do it. It's like, do as you're told.
Exactly. Like a fucking wet tissue paper he defended, didn't he? Oh, no, let me try.
They actually just come back on the radio going, don't argue, just do as you're told. I was like, shut up, bitch, and fucking crack on. But
exactly.
I mean,
come on. Are you what is he think?
They said after the race it was too risky to do that swap. It would have been, but at the same time, you can't do that when someone's sitting there thinking, I've got a podium here.
You can't take a podium.
And then just go last minute. Can you give that to Leclerc, please? Is that all right? It's back.
He's done a better job.
If they'd have done it and they'd have switched them, Perez would have got them. Oh, sorry, Max would have got them. And potentially Alonso as well. They couldn't do it.
He did a better job all weekend, Sainz. He deserves a podium. Don't care. So
if it was 4th and 5th, then maybe it could be like, do we look at the switcheroo card? Look at the championship. And stuff like that. But when it's, I'm going to take a third spot away from somebody. No, that's bullwank. That.
So let's get to the baby.
He did well. He did well, Leclerc, to have the crash and get back to where he was. I'll give him that.
But Sainz was better all weekend.
Yeah, I honestly think Sainz is a good driver. I think they're neck and neck.
He just got a mistake in him, like we've said. Right, let's get to the baby. So Perez was told to let Max by and was promised, look, if he doesn't overtake the Ferrari in front, we will let you swap. Alonso and Leclerc in front, we will let you swap back. And he didn't. He crossed the line. Max's race engineer said, what happened, Max? And then he just went on this full-on rant. Told you, never ask me that again. I've got my reasons. Blah, 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 blah. What an absolute fucking tool that boy looks.
Yep.
Do you agree?
Completely.
What reasons could he have?
But when you got the thing on the left-hand side of the screen, aren't you? And it's got you see all the checkered flags popping up. Then I saw it pop up for Max, and I just went, he hasn't given the fucking spot back. And then you heard the radio going, Max, what happened there? I gave you my reasons. I'm not doing this. Blah. It's like, you dick.
But then, did you see after the race there was Max's manager, Max, and Christian all having a discussion? Christian, first thing he comes out with, Max and Sergio have spoke, they've shook hands, they're all over it now. It's shut up, because Perez was absolutely fuming. And I'll tell you what, I'm so glad that bloke stood up to Red Bull and said, well, if it weren't for me, he wouldn't have 2 championships.
True. And I've got a rundown here. Somebody, it was from ESPN, that put literally listed all of what Perez has done. Like Monaco, Baku, France, Silverstone took the fastest lap from Hamilton. Turkey defended Hamilton in 5th, Max gets 2nd. Austin, Brazil took the fastest lap from Hamilton. Abu Dhabi, which is the biggest one, holds him up for 10 seconds, making Hamilton skip pit stops in order to not lose position. That's from ESPN.
That's
F1.
A lot of them fastest laps as well. Perez was in a real good point scoring position, and they pitted him just so that he could get like 9 for 10 on the fastest lap to take that point away. He sacrificed. I'm not saying he was in the championship hunt, but he sacrificed his season for Max. And I can't remember.
He's like the epiphany of team player.
He is. And I can't remember who said it on Sky when I think it was Karun Chandok said, I don't understand him, because Max has won the title. He's got nothing to gain by disobeying team orders. Why has he done it? Like, he's literally shot himself in the foot, because if Merc are more competitive next year and Ferrari are more competitive, I tell you what, if I was Sergio, I would not help him out one iota, not a chance. I'd be like, remember last year?
The amount of people to Max as well when they was interviewing him after the race, and they even said all the stuff, and they've said he's defended for you like a lion. And Tony, you already said it. I would have it. He held up Hamilton long enough for Verstappen to close a 10-second gap. He won him that championship.
It's the least he could have done. It was just. Go on.
We can talk about this, but does Max have a point? Does Max have a point here? Does anything go in Max's favour?
Well,
if you look at it in a different angle.
Go on then.
He's 2-time world champion.
Yeah.
He is the best driver this season, without a doubt. Best car.
Yeah.
He has the lead over Perez. He is, and we've discussed this previously, he is number 1 driver at Red Bull. So
forget driver. He's number 1 at Red Bull now, because he's more important than Christian Horner and everyone in that team.
So why give it back? If he's the man, why give it back?
Because without Sergio Perez, he would have no championships. And what's best for the team to finish 1-2 or 1-3?
Team orders in it.
Max didn't need any points. Max's job's done. He can take it as easy. As far as Max is concerned, he could turn up on fucking the next race and just be like, "Nah, I'm not going to bother. Not get in the car." He's done his job. He's won it all. I'm just interested to see what happens now, because at first, before we heard all the post-race stuff and actually, Max saying, "I've given you my reasons," at first I thought, fucking hell, Red Bull have done the usual dodgy thing of, "Oh yeah, don't worry, Perez, we'll give you the spot back," but then not tell Max until about 10 seconds before the end. Like that kind of, "Oh, by the way, oh shit, oh no, oh, I'm devastated." So at first I thought, sounds like Red Bull, because we've said it a lot, that they're a little bit dodgy. They're not, they only ever look out for the first team driver. And then obviously Horner's comments after the race saying, "We've spoken, they've all shook hands.
I think that's bullshit.
We're going to do all that we can to make sure that Perez gets 2nd place, and bloody Verstappen's going to be involved in that as well." I'm then like, you'd be very clever with your wording there, really, because all you said, what you effectively said is, if Perez is in a good position to do it, we'll help him out.
Oh yeah.
So what are you not going to do to his fucking car this week.
Yeah. And Max was like, oh, well, I'll help him out if he needs it next week. Well, he needed it this week and you've screwed him over.
Yeah. Bullshit.
Like,
You've got your reason.
Opened a can of worms. It's just opened a massive can of worms, hasn't it?
So
It's showing his true colours, and you know what? Quite a lot of the Red Bull fans are suddenly sitting there thinking, "Wow."
Yeah.
I liked Perez's comment, and I think that really tells you what he thinks of Max. Well, everyone can see what he's really like.
Yeah.
I think behind closed doors, I don't think there's this harmony in the Red Bull team. I really don't. I think Perez is such a good egg. He's been like, right, okay, he's a better driver than me. I'll just play the team game. But he's probably thinking, what an absolute spoiled little brat that kid is.
Yeah, I think he has been all his life from karting, winning. I'm the
Everyone's scared of Josh.
I'm the man.
Everyone's scared of Josh Verstappen.
I'm the man.
Even
I'm the man.
Horner.
Took Kvyat's seat.
Yeah.
Took his bed.
I don't even want to do the driver standings because Max is a prick and I don't really care that he's won the title and it's gone.
Just before we move on, though, didn't Max's mum bring some up about Perez's cheating or something like that?
Yeah, let's not go into that. That's all hearsay. I don't want to get involved in any of that.
And then I suppose there's Perez at Monaco's crashed on purpose.
Yeah.
It's just opening a can of worms.
Yeah.
It's Max Verstappen racing team. That's what it is.
Well, it's Josh Verstappen.
Not Red Bull.
The
Max Verstappen racing team.
It's Verstappen. It's not even Max. It's
Verstappen racing.
Yeah. So the next week, final race, Abu Dhabi this Sunday. I can see the time. We're running out of it. Have we got quick predictions, or should we put them online again?
I think we should go for a 3-part. We're only
need 5 minutes.
No, because time we downloaded it, we're gonna be quite a while.
Well, the host goes first, don't they?
I think we've run out of time, to be brutally honest. I think we'll have to put them online again.
I think 3P. Let's come back. Let's come back
then after this break.
Well, we'll be quick so you can get into bed in time, man.
Yeah, bye. Welcome back to part 3. Literally, this is going to be the shortest part in the world ever. Okay, predictions from last week. James, hit us.
So, predictions from last week were absolutely shite. I got all bold and brave and went with Hamilton, Max, and Perez. They all did shit. Mark, you went Max, Leclerc, Hamilton. Again, none of that happened. T-Dog, you went Max, Hamilton, and Perez. So you got Hamilton in second spot. So you got 2 points. That puts the standings at myself in the lead still with 53 points. Tony at 48 now with his additional 2. And Mark still at 41.
I'm basically out of this unless I get absolutely bang on.
Oh, mate, I'm thinking about getting you like a Wellington boot or something to drink out of rather than shoe.
Jesus, right.
I could still win this, guys. Just so you know, I could still win this.
Yeah.
And I could also get the shoe still.
No, I think it's nailed on for me, and I think you're nailed on second. Especially when I start adding penalty points to you. 10-second late penalty for every podcast, so you might actually get the shoe. Right, so my predictions are Max, Leclerc, Perez. James, what's yours?
Interesting. I'm still being brave and bold. I've got Hamilton for the win.
Nice.
I got Russell second.
Ooh, mate, 1-2 again.
Yeah. And Perez third. Because I would like to think that Max will do the right thing.
How little you know.
I know.
Yeah. Tony?
Like I've said all season, Hamilton will get a win, and it's going to come in this GP. So I've gone Hamilton, Max, Perez. Because again, I think Max will stick the big middle finger up at Perez.
Interesting.
And I think Ferrari will live up to their shit season and completely fuck it all up.
Interesting. Well, on that very quick note, thank you to Andy. Thank you to CookieCast. Thanks for having us. Thanks to my co-host, as always, Mr. James Stainforth, Mr. Tony Rawson. And this will be the next week's podcast, the last one of the season. Well, unless we do a review one. And
Got to do a Christmas special.
Yeah.
I'll do a Christmas one.
It'll be the review. It'll be the podcast of the last race of the season.
Yeah.
Wow.
What a season it's been.
Who
will get second? Who will get second in the championship?
We'll find out. On that note, see you next week, guys.
See you later, guys.
Goodbye.
So there we go. What do you think to that? More races gone. More races to come. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Let these boys know what you think. Drop them a line. Jump over to the website. Find some social media tags. Find the email button and let these guys know how much you love their podcast. You can simply let them know by just like, share, subscribe and comment. Either way, share the podcast around as best you can. Give it to a Formula 1 fan. Give it to somebody who isn't a Formula 1 fan. They will probably still enjoy it. It's a great podcast. That's it for this one. Until next time, I'm going to say bye, and I'll see you then.